You're listening to Chicagoland's finest podcast, featuring the Gorehound.
Well, because I'm bringing us in.
Jen.
I mean, it's horrifying because,
Cousin Charles. And Nick.
I know. I thought I was going to screw it up again.
It's time for the all-new Culture Cast, starting now.
I'm the Gorehound.
I'm Cousin Charles.
And we are the all-new Culture Cast. How you doing, Cuz?
I'm doing good. I actually just realized this is the first Culture Cast where it's the Gorehound and Cuz.
It is. Jenny and Nick bailed today, but
they couldn't handle they got swept up by the Sharknado.
Yeah, well, Jen has a good excuse. She is getting married in T-minus 2 months, so she is good excuse. But Nick, gotta give him a hard time. He's bailing. But we all bail. We're all bailers. It's what we do. So, today we are talking about Sharknado. Kind of talking about the first one in particular, and then maybe a little bit of the second two. Because as we were watching this, I realized that the latest one, some stupid ass name like Sharknado, the last one, is coming out in. I saw an ad on it on Facebook. It's coming out within the next month or so. So, want to keep that conversation for the future ones to a separate podcast, and hopefully that guy decides to join us. But, how you doing today, Cuz?
I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, just another day, like I said, reporting live from the state of misery. But yeah. I'm
Did you intentionally call it misery?
I did, yes. Because I'm edgy.
Yep. Yeah. Is anything going down in misery today? How's the weather?
Not too bad. Not too hot. Not too cold. I don't know. It's like the past couple weeks. Have been pretty hot, like in the hundreds, and the past 2 days kind of chilled down to like mid 70s. So
that's nice. We're suffering through some 90s right now. And it's no fun. I'm a fall weather kind of guy. I'm a basic bitch.
No. Honestly, I get as giddy as a Japanese schoolgirl when it's hoodie season. Yes.
Yeah, honestly, it just brings out all of us, or maybe just those of us on this podcast.
That's true. It's about the fall, man. Something about September. September, as I've gotten older, I've realized has become my I think favorite month because like perfect weather for like anything.
Yeah. October still reigns strong for me.
Fair enough.
Why don't you get us started? What have you been watching?
What have you been watching?
I have, like I said, I've gotten into a new podcast. Or I started a new podcast. It's pretty long form, but it's perfect for my paranormal sensibilities called Astonishing Legends.
Okay, I never heard of it.
Megan, like I said, Megan introduced me to it because they had a pretty cool, like a pretty creepy story about some girl in the diner meeting a guy that she was fairly, like a weirdo in New York that she was fairly convinced was the devil.
Is this a story-based podcast? Or is it like factual?
It's more of a story-based, I would say.
Okay.
I mean, it's very much, if you have any sort of mild or passing fascination with like paranormal stuff, like this podcast like breaks it down. Like they're long, they're the kind of stuff where if you're like doing stuff around the house, you can just listen to it because they're like an hour and a half, piece, and like some of them are multi-part series. Like
I'm curious, what is like the perfect environment for you to listen to podcasts? When do you listen to most of them?
I would say a good portion of them are. Well, the ones that when me and Megan listen to podcasts, I would say it's on our road trips either to Chicago.
Yeah.
Because that's a solid 6 hours. Road trips are probably the best one, and then the other best time is just, cleaning up around the house.
Yeah. I tend to listen to most of mine at work because for some reason I feel like I'm a little bit of an exceptional case where like I excel at work while I am listening to other people in conversation. And so if like I cannot listen to a podcast while I'm working, I have a difficult time staying focused. It's very weird. But I found that's the key to me working very fast and very hard very quickly. Is, you just put on a little bit of last podcast on the left or some Alien Agenda, and I get going.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's a good enough podcast. I get pretty absorbed into it, so it's hard for me to do other things. If it's like something I can kind of sort of tune, like kind of zone out a little bit and kind of like casually listen in. That's more my jam.
Yeah.
Other things I've been watching, I've got nothing really genre related, but on Netflix they had a show on there called Amazing Interiors.
Yeah.
It's like that's like my perfect kind of like turn my brain off television. Like,
is that like a House Hunters show?
No, it's literally it's a show that pretty much like people with way too much time and money, they're like, it just shows off like there's this one where I'm pretty sure it's a British show that Netflix like got the rights to because a lot of it takes place in Britain, but there was like one where it's like this couple like was in London and they lived on a boat and they like redid the entirety of the boat, like made it like this very nice sort of modern-ish home.
Okay.
The one, and I think another episode, the guy turned it. A lot of it's man caves, I will say that.
Yeah.
One guy turned his like basement into like this, pretty much almost like a Cubs sports bar, like that you would see in Wrigleyville, like with memorabilia. And I think at one place, like in this one corner right here, there's about $30,000 worth of memorabilia, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But mostly, I would say just casual shows about weirdos or people who are just like, where it's just like spending an obscene amount of time and money on something that's like completely ridiculous. Just, I don't know. It warms my my cold, dead heart.
Interesting.
And I'm trying to think of anything else besides Sharknado, but that's most of it. Just podcasts and like I said, Astonishing Legends and like I said, Amazing Interiors.
Awesome. Well, I have been. I ended up being in the car for maybe like 5 hours this past week. Last week, and I was able to listen. I decided I wanted to listen to something other than a podcast because I've been burning through last podcast on the left and a little bit too much Alien Agenda podcasts, and so I wanted to listen to something a little bit more. Not like science, because I just didn't want to listen to a podcast, and so I listened to a audio book, and I was going through this, and I found one called Annihilation, based off, or it's actually called Area X. It's what the more recent Annihilation is based off of, and this Area X is actually a 3-part novel where the first third is what is encapsulated within the Annihilation movie. And so I've been listening to that, and it's been very intriguing. I've been really trying to listen to it as much as I can. But it's really intriguing, and so I can't really listen to it at work because I have to really focus on it. Because it's not just conversational like a podcast is. It's
like an audiobook or like
audio, straight up audio book. So, but yeah, that has been very thrilling. Been going to sleep listening to that a little bit, and it's great. I also wanted to throw this one out. Death Note. Have you ever seen a Death Note movie?
I have not. I said I was high school. Sorry, I don't know that. I have heard of Death Note.
Yeah.
Like I said, all my friends who are really into anime, or you hear in love, online circles, like, oh, Death Note's so amazing.
Yeah.
I've yet to dedicate the time or the effort into getting into that anime. I know there was the Netflix thing, which had mixed reactions.
Well, I don't watch any anime. Like, I don't think I've ever watched more than like 30 seconds of anime, and that was like flipping through channels.
I'm surprised. I'm actually kind of surprised hearing that from you.
Yeah, and I'm like, I have no interest in it. But there was one night where I just like decided to watch Death Note a few years back. I think because it was live action and it wasn't comic based, but it was based off of an anime novel. And I was just completely enthralled in this. It was like the coolest thing ever. And I was like, this story is so cool. And then they brought in the monster, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. And then I ended up watching the sequel to it, and I was like, oh, that's great. And so I saw this one, and it just like brought the nerd out in me. I was like, I don't care like how stupid this is. This is so cool. Like they really captured the story, but also like switched it up, because there have been two live action movies based off of the graphic novel or the anime, whatever. And I think some also, classic anime films off of it, but I haven't seen any of that.
I was going to ask, so I know of the Netflix one. I know that's kind of like your typical.
Yeah, and that's the one that I watched, because I saw it and I was like, it was in my queue for a while, and I was like, I don't know. And I watched it and I was like, I don't know why I put this off, because it was just like a 4 out of 5 movie. It was so good.
That's high praise.
Yeah. Not many films get the 4 out of 5. So yeah, I watched that one. And then I got through a little bit of Isle of Dogs, the new Wes Anderson film.
Oh, I wanted to see that so bad. Like, they had it here at our local art house theater, but I don't know. I just kept putting it off, and then eventually I just missed it.
Yeah, there was I had a free rental on Vudu, and so I watched that. And it was very good, but the Graveyard Queen ended up falling asleep, and I was like, watch the rest of the movie or go to sleep, and I was like, I kind of need the sleep right now. So, but it was very good. While I was watching it, she was just pretty exhausted from her day. But I still want to catch that. So.
Yeah, no, I heard a lot of good things about that one.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of any Wes Anderson film. Despite how slow they may be, I don't think slow is a bad thing.
It's definitely different. I will say this.
Oh, and we just got a dog, a little puppy, and so it's like we gotta watch the Isle of Dogs.
Oh, what kind of dog is it?
It's I don't think I introduced him to the podcast. His name is Gizmo, named after the cute little gremlin. He's a Rottweiler Labrador mix, and he's very stupid and untrained right now. But he's also less than 3 months, so he's got a little bit of learning to do. The school starts on Monday, so
he's at maximum cuteness.
Yes.
And I will say this, 'cause I just thought this up. So the Gorehound now has his own hound.
Yeah, he does. I was thinking he is the legitimate Gorehound, or the literal Gorehound. That is if he liked to kill things, but he doesn't like to kill things. He just likes to rip and tear them all apart. I have not come up with a podcast nickname, but I will. So,
can I throw my hat into the ring?
What is your vote?
Gorehound Jr.
Gorehound Jr. No, because okay. Thank you for your vote. I will consider that.
So it's time for that favorite segment on the Culture Cast, the Man Crush of the Week.
Man crush.
Gorehound, who do you got?
Which is he is a recurring character, Terry Crews of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I know that he has been the I think the past 3 or 4 weeks, but I am still watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and he's holding it up. I would love to be this guy. He's great and he's fun, and his dialogue just continues to just be spot on. Where it's I keep on coming back to his quotes. There was like one quote where like he had the cats that were like in the cage, and he's like, "Why are these dicks out of their cage?" And it's just like, it's just so random, but it's great. I keep it up, Terry Crews. You're the Man Crush of the Week.
Doing great.
All right. So, all right. Moving on to the topic of the night, Sharknado. So yeah, let's start off with the first Sharknado. This movie started off as your typical sci-fi movie. Sci-fi movie being Sci-Fi Channel movie. It was stupid, just like every other, Sharktopus versus Croczilla. And do you think that they thought that this was going to be a huge phenomenon?
I don't know, because like I said, I vaguely remember, because I didn't watch it when it premiered on Sci-Fi or at the time of its original release.
Yeah.
I don't think they did, but it seemed like
I don't think that they did, and I don't know why it became such a success.
Yeah, it's very bizarre because kind of watching it, like, yeah, it's silly, it's dumb, but it's like there's nothing like there are some movies that really like go over the top in how stupid they get, that they get levels of amazing.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. I mean, there's some pretty dumb stuff, but it's also very, it's very tongue in cheek. Like it's very aware. Like, yes, this is dumb, but and it has fun with it. But there's nothing at the level of like Tommy Wiseau destroying the set at the end.
Right.
It's kind of bizarre, like how it became like this big hit. Like I hate to be cynical and say, oh, it was artificially generated. Like Sci-Fi said, oh, this is the worst movie ever. You gotta go see it. But at the same time, that can only take a movie so far.
Mm-hmm.
Like generating a fan base. Like I think back to like the first Paranormal Activity, how they're like, this is the scariest movie. You gotta demand your theaters, play it. Which in actuality is like nobody wants to show this movie. It looks cheap and it's made for less than 10 or something like that. But it's still at the same time that worked to make it a success. But then the following sequels got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, that was
just kind of being this.
The Paranormal Activity. No, that was Paranormal Activity was a scary ass movie that was it was just like a complete success. And I think just for the creativity of the filmmakers and the actors and the special effects artists, because that was crazy.
Yeah, the first one definitely earns its place in kind of like sort of like the
right, but then the rest of them just suffer through sequel phenomena. Yeah,
that's a term I've heard for.
Yeah,
but kind of connecting to Sharknado, it's like I think the first one had a big advertising push where they're like, this is a terrible movie, this is like the worst movie ever and stuff like that. But it's like, I mean, you can call a movie you can kind of go that way, marketed, saying like, oh, this is like the next Plan 9 from outer space, or a million, or the next Room, or something like that. But it's got to be memorable, and I would say Shark is the stuff that happens in the movie is pretty fun. In terms of like bad movie stuff, like in terms of like things I can remember from the movie.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go like, I almost want to say transcendent, but like transcending that level of like.
Well, I don't think that they transcended in this movie. I think that this movie, they did not expect it to become so monumental, and they were treating this just like every other, sci-fi movie.
Basic premise.
Right. But I did want to jump into what the actual movie is about, other than saying there's a Sharknado, enough said, as the tagline is. But we have Ian Ziering. Ian Ziering is from, what was his 90s sitcom show? 90210. He was a star of 90210. He is Finn Shepard. He is a nobody right now, but he comes to figure out how to destroy the Sharknado once it comes into land. We have Tara Reid in there, who is a significant weak point. Okay, she's a significant weak point. I'll just leave it at that. She was previously married to Finn Shepard, and she comes back and their love interest reunites, and that carries them through the rest of the series, at least until as far as I can remember. We have these various characters along the way, a few cameos, including John Hurd, who is the dad in Home Alone, most significantly.
Is that who that is?
Right.
Okay, so so Megan's apparently seen all these movies.
Yeah.
And she was like, "You guys are doing Sharknado? Let's watch it right now." After we finished recording Jaws: The Revenge.
Okay.
And we were both looking. I was like, I think, what was this character's name? Larry or something like that.
Yeah. George.
Yeah, we were both kind of looking at each other like, he looks familiar. Where do we know him from? So okay, so that's where he's from. All right, cool.
Yeah, he is. He's showing his age. I don't know why he did this, but he was fine. He did his role just fine. But yeah, in Sharknado #1, we don't really see as many cameos as the series has advertised.
Right.
Because it's not that popular of a movie at this point.
No,
so it's that's basically the thing is Finn Shepard saves LA from the Sharknado, in meeting all these characters along the way, and that is Sharknado #1.
It's your typical natural disaster movie mixed with the shark attack.
Right. There are plenty of one-liners and just really bad a script, really bad like the special effects are just non-existent. They just aren't there.
This is the kind of, like, the scope of the movie is pretty massive. Like, you can kind of do a cheap shark movie because you just have to go to, like, a beach and just stay at the beach and just film everything there. The scope of the movie that they set up is, like, all of LA is, like, starting to go underwater and, there's sharks in the streets. Yeah, the effects budget does not able to hold that up.
So there is really nothing serious about this movie, but it doesn't really need to. This is an Asylum production. It is what it is, and they have targeted people like myself, the Gorehound, and I watched this, within a month or two of it being released.
In the good only 13.
Yeah, this was released in 2013. The series is still going strong. Well, I guess coming up with its final chapter in I think it was like August of 2018. So, but further podcast discussion on that over the next few weeks. We'll see. So, what did you think of this?
I thought it was, for this being my first time sort of seeing it, I thought it was fun.
Yeah. You've watched bad sci-fi movies before, right?
Yes, very much so.
And you enjoy them.
I do enjoy them. I do enjoy them because it's kind of like you enjoy them by picking them apart, by having fun with the movie as things go along. But yeah, I would say I fairly enjoyed this movie and kind of laughing along with it, going, "Oh no, the shark's coming!" and things like that. Yeah, it was. I would say it was a pretty good time to watch a movie. Like I said, probably would have been, like I said, I feel like it also would have been one of those movies that is good at a party with drunk friends.
Yes. Yes.
Which is where a lot of watching my bad sci-fi movies happened.
Yeah.
But no, it was even just watching it just at home with Megan. It was still it was a solid B movie. Like I said, everything made sense. It was
as much as a silent movie will be.
Yes, as much as this kind of sort of movie can be. Everything sort of like, okay, it flowed together. It wasn't too. They didn't forget how to put together a movie. They shot it on film. It had a beginning, middle, and an end.
Mm-hmm. There actually was a story to this. So it's not just being like a stupid story. There actually is a story, and yeah,
thrown together and just said, "Well, it's a movie, I guess."
Right. Have you seen any of the sequels?
I have before the podcast.
Yeah.
I have not, like I said, I'm vaguely familiar with the Sharknado franchise just in terms of
But
seeing
you have not been keeping up with it.
No, I have not been
Okay.
a Sharknado fanatic.
So, I think a major point of discussion on this is that the series does change significantly. After I think the second one, the Sharknado really embraces its cameos, its stupidity, and it really goes in a different direction that kind of escalates it outside of, a stupid asylum film. It almost becomes like a scary movie type film where it's a bigger production despite them not really paying for the effects. But my point is that I think that this is the best one of the series because they kept to the roots of the type of sci-fi movie that we like. They're stupid, but they're not throwing all these cameos at you. They're not really trying to advertise all of this stuff. Because even at like the second and third one, you start to see them advertising stuff, and it's just like, I don't really like to see that. I want to see, a body count. I want to see bad CGI, and I just want to see just like a lot of different people that are just like, that we could recognize, but at the same time be like, okay. For instance, Tara Reid, we can recognize her from her previous movies, despite her not being, she's an awful actress. Let's just...
No, without a doubt.
Yeah, let's just get that out there. And she is really bad, and I personally don't feel like she fits in here, because Ian Ziering embraced this. He says, this is how I'm going to make my paycheck. I'm going to give it, my paycheck's worth, and, finish the day. Tara Reid was like, I don't want to be here. I'm really depressed right now, and I'm upset that I have to do this.
Right.
And it's just like, your Tara Reid drags this film through.
I agree. It's very weird. It's like, I think that was one of the things I vaguely remember for the advertising when they were when Sci-Fi was like advertising this movie the first time. It was like, Tara Reid's in one of, is in this movie, as if she was like, this is our big star, Tara Reid. But yeah, I can just imagine her showing up to set the first day, there's always like a person who's in charge of costumes, like, okay, here's what the character looks like,
Mm-hmm.
or I imagine she's like, I don't give a shit. This is, I literally just came from the gym. This is what I'm wearing. I'll do the scene.
Right.
Out of here. And to be honest, I would not be surprised if that was actually true.
Right. She has not done, I don't think she's ever done like a significant movie. She did Alone in the Dark and some Van Wilder movies, but so maybe she's just not that good of an actress, and she never really, she was fine with that. But
this is going to sound very un-PC, but I think she was a pretty face back in the early 2000s, and then when Hollywood loves you, you're on top of the world, and then when they don't, you're doing Sharknado.
Right. But also the reason that I bring her up is that she is a stark contrast to Nova. Nova was when the film first starts. Nova Clark, played by Cassandra Serbo, is Finn's current girlfriend, or maybe just coworker.
Yeah, they never really make that clear. There's a couple times where they make it seem like, oh, they're dating and stuff like that. But then there's some other. Then there's like, no, they're not.
Right. It's very clear that Tara Reid is jealous of her, or vice versa, and that's kind of the relationship.
And then Nova has the hots for Finn.
Right. And in the end, Finn goes for Tara Reid because he was originally married to her, and the Sharknado brought them together. So take what you will of that.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a little weird, but
Nova Clark, Cassandra Skirbo, I think was one of the highlights of this movie. She is very attractive, but at the same time, she embraced the stupidity of it and really rolled forward with it. Not treating it as stupid. She's like, these movies are over the top. The script is stupid, and you're just going to make what you will of it. And I, frankly, really enjoyed all the screen time on her. Not just because she was attractive, but also because she was doing a really great job of treating this what it was and embracing it.
No, she is definitely like a working actor. I think I heard. I'm going to steal something from. You ever watched Red Letter Media's Best of the Worst?
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay. It's this one YouTube channel that I watch. But anyhow, they did this. They have this one series where it's kind of like a round robin where they sort of they were kind of reviewing like what is it? The 90s Fantastic Four.
Okay.
And I think one of them says something along the lines of, when you get actors in a Roger Corman production, they are there to work. They are professional. They deliver the lines. They are there to do a job, and they do it magnificently.
Yeah.
That's kind of what what'd you say Nova's name or act? I cannot talk today.
Cassandra Skirbo.
Cassandra Skirbo is that kind of actress. She is like, I'm committed. I am giving up my performance, and I am going to sell this character.
Right.
Yeah, she's probably one of the more memorable parts of the movie.
Right.
Or one of the more memorable characters from the first one.
Mm-hmm. And I also bring her up because I watched the first 3 in review for this, and in the second one, she does not appear in it, but in the third one, and then there on out, she does make an appearance in, I think, 3, 5, and I don't know if she does. It doesn't look like she does 4.
According to, like I said, I'm kind of fact checking a lot of this on.
Yeah.
The character of Nova Clark appeared in Sharknado 1, 3, and then 5, and then the upcoming Sharknado, the last Sharknado, It's About Time.
Right. So Ian Ziering and Cassandra Skirbo, I think, were the best actors in this, and I think that they made this very legitimate for an asylum film. I have to keep on prefacing that because this is not a legitimate movie. It is legitimate for the genre in which it was created.
It's one of those movies that you can tell that the actors involved were like, this is stupid, this is dumb, but we're going to have fun with it. And I think definitely Ian Ziering and Casey Skirbo definitely sell, like, we're going to really get into this. We're going to we're going to have fun with this role and just kind of roll with it. Tara Reid, not so much, although I don't know. I haven't seen some of the later iterations, so I don't know if she kind of like go.
Oh, she does not get any better. It's just she's in there for her name, and it's unfortunate because I feel like they could have brought somebody else in for the name that would have been a lot better. She's just I don't want to sound sexist, but I feel like I'm being legitimate. She is just really annoying in Sharknado, which takes a lot to be an annoying in Sharknado.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tara Reid, I think, must have lost a bet in order to, actually, she probably just like, all right, sure, I'll be in the shark movie. But it does feel like she kind of lost a bet, like, does not want to be there at all. And I'm sure probably filming with her I'm going to assume was most likely a nightmare.
Yeah. And she just doesn't seem fun.
No.
And this is supposed to be a fun movie.
Yeah, like, everybody else is having fun with it. You can tell, like I really enjoyed, like, all the little one-off side characters that they, sort of maybe just have one scene or something like that. Like, they're fun. They're, like, memorable. They have a quirk.
Yeah.
There's the Australian guy who's his best friend.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he was a delight. I really liked watching him. Yeah.
And, as you mentioned, the dad from Home Alone.
Yes.
He's one of the maybe not the great movie drunks, but at least in the top 50
Yeah.
drunks. So, and have his tool man.
Yeah. All right. What else do we got going on with Sharknado number 1?
Do you want to talk about, I say let's go over favorite scenes or favorite bits of like little dialogue.
Yeah. Let's go through some of these quotes. Oh, yeah, there's the constant reference to Nova being a stripper by Tara Reid when she is not, and it's kind of a reoccurring theme. She's like, "I'm not a stripper."
Well, that's like her catchphrase.
Right, yeah.
There was also the explanation of why is there a retirement home next to an airport? Because old people can't hear.
Yes.
Like, that's like, it's like one of those little bits, like, you could tell when they wrote that down. That's like, that's kind of clever, or that's fun.
Yes.
That's an explanation.
Some.
Probably the scene I will say this, the one scene that made me laugh out loud was right after the bus rescue, where
Yes,
where I had like a Nostradamus moment, or just I've seen enough movies.
Okay.
Where the like teacher, who's also a failed actor / I'm assuming an asylum employee.
That guy with the long blonde hair.
Yes, where like it's like a scene of like the Hollywood sign being ripped up, and he says, "Mom always said Hollywood was going to kill me." I'm like, please let the Hollywood sign crush him. And
Yes.
I'm like, yes, Sharknado, you know exactly what I want.
Right, and that's kind of like a subtle, stupid thing that they really exaggerated in the rest of the series. Like, that was good. That was small and, not too significant. It was just really great.
It was a well-delivered horror death scene.
Right, because we saw this guy for maybe like 10 minutes of a scene, and we knew we're not going to see him anywhere else.
No.
And he's clearly not like a professional actor, but he's just played it so well.
Props to that guy.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah. What else do we got going on? I feel like there's a lot.
There's actually quite a bit to unpack with Sharknado, because it kind of like I don't want to say meanders, but it kind of starts off like Shark Attack on the Beach. Well, first it starts off with a weird sort of shark fin deal, which is treated like a drug trade-off.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, which was fun, but like pretty random and doesn't really, I don't know, I guess sets the tone.
Yeah.
So, and then it's like, okay, we gotta get to the house, then we gotta escape the house, go to the airport, now we gotta fight. It's only until like the last maybe 20 minutes that they actually go into the whole, we gotta stop the Sharknado.
Mm-hmm.
It's them running from the Sharknado in strangely dry parts of a hurricaned LA. So,
yes.
Like I said, there were a couple times I was like, oh, they really didn't hide this pretty, like, especially during the bus rescue. Like, certain shots where, like, where, like, Finn is, like, going down, you can see in the other streets, like, these other people are just driving by, enjoying the day, not a care in the world that there's a Sharknado going on.
Yeah. Movie, I think we could talk about this, for a very long time. But so we move into the second Sharknado, and this one they start to ramp it up, but it's not full blown media phenomenon Sharknado at this point. But I think that they're understanding, like, okay, I think we are getting there. So for instance, we start to see Mark McGrath of Sugar Ray doing a pretty significant role in this, and we also see some more significant names such as Vivica A. Fox, Kurt Angle of WWE fame, and including Lou Ferrigno, the original Hulk.
Oh, no. Yeah, I think also Judd Hirsch is in there, as well as Billy Cyrus.
Yes, Judd Hirsch. That was who it was. I was like, I feel like that looks like the guy from from Independence Day, but I don't know. And frankly, I wasn't giving it that much attention because I as I said, I've watched all of these, and this was kind of just review because you don't really give these things the time of day.
No,
they're just strictly entertainment.
Yeah.
So, but in this one, you pretty much see the same story. Takes place in New York, and we see the recurring characters other than Nova. We have Ian Ziering and Tara Reid. And I feel like this one kind of dropped the ball on it, because this strictly seemed like a cash grab. Like, let's just, put in the 8 to 4 hours. This is stupid. We just need to get another one out to coast us through. And that is frankly what it seemed like. We start to see some kids in this. I think it was Mark McGrath's kids that are in this. So we start to see some of that, and it kind of drops the ball. And then Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No, is when Nova comes back, and they start to really embrace full-on Sharknado media phenomenon. And I think at this point, it's full-blown because the tagline is Oh Hell No. They're not really thinking about the title anymore. We see people like Mark Cuban in this. That's his name. Yeah, Mark Cuban. And he's like, I used to be a shark, because of his role in Shark Tank.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't he play like the president in Sharknado 3?
He does. So he has a pretty significant role in the beginning of the film. This one, I think of the media of the Sharknadoes that really have the media phenomenon of being, full-blown Sharknado. While I don't really like any of them, this one seems to do it best because it's not as big yet, and the bigger that they get, the worse that I like it. It's just, it sells out.
It loses that charm that the first one had, where just like, this is a fun little B movie. We have our setting. It's fairly reserved, and I definitely, as they try to, may not necessarily expand the scope, but try to make it a bigger movie or a sillier movie, I think they kind of lose some of that charm they made the first one. Made it fun. It was like, Finn's a guy, he owns a bar, he used to be a big surfer dude, and now he's it's out a man versus Sharknado to get his life back, pretty much. I will say, like, I know you're saying, like, by the third movie they start getting more into the silliness.
Yeah.
That's I would say, even by the second movie, just based on the taglines alone, because the first one's tagline, isn't it just "Nuff said"?
No, it's called the second one. Yeah. Okay.
So there's a kind of, they're self-aware, but I think they definitely are. I think it definitely is getting to that. You know what it kind of reminds me of? And I don't know if this is considered to be a slightly better movie. Did you ever see the movie Iron Sky?
Iron Sky and the Sky Captain of the World?
No, this is like it's at the same level of like The Asylum, but it's the one where like Nazis are on the moon and they like start invading the Earth or something with like, Wolfenstein's style steampunk technology.
I've seen this. I've seen this cover frequently. I've never watched it. I didn't know that Nazis were on the moon though.
That was the whole point of that movie.
Okay. Would you recommend? Because I've been listening to a lot of not a lot of, but in particular, Hollow Moon Theory podcast.
I would say if you to kind of tie everything back together, if you enjoy the style of movie that Sharknado is, you probably enjoy Iron Sky. I feel like Iron Sky is a little bit wittier.
Yeah, right. Because this is not an asylum. This is a more of an independent one. Yeah,
but it's still in that same sort of. In that movie, there's a very tongue-in-cheek tone. I think definitely that kind of. I think there's like a finite amount of charm that you can get out of a movie idea like Sharknado, and I definitely do feel like they were.
And it looks like a sequel is coming out too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be dang.
Yeah, I will check that out.
Yeah, it was on Netflix, but that was like a couple years ago, so I don't know where.
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah, but the self-awareness thing, I don't think I could really define. But the first Sharknado media phenomenon, I think, is at 0%. Sharknado 2, we have, I would say they're like 25% full-blown media phenomenon. By the third one, we are at 100% media phenomenon. This is where they're like, we are just trying to get as much eyes on this. We are trying to get as much money on this. Let's grab as many celebrities as we can to get them in there. And this is where I think that they reach capacity, where 4, 5, and 6, I would presume, can't really get much better than this, because you've gone through 3 movies. I don't know what else you can do. So
throw stuff at the wall and just see what sticks.
Right. The only reason that I'm giving this any emphasis is because they did bring back Nova, and she was great in it. You also have Frankie Muniz, who's not being stupid. He is like not being like the stupid nerd like he is in his show. He's actually like, I don't know, playing something real. And these cameos are like, they're still fun. You have Chris Jericho of WWE fame, along with David Hasselhoff coming back as the reoccurring father. And he does play a role in the ending. But
I will say this, I did not realize, spoiler, I haven't made it all the way through. I have not seen Sharknado.
There's no spoilers in the Sharknado series.
Did not know Frankie Muniz was still around. Malcolm, I honestly
Malcolm in the Middle, yeah.
I really thought he, like, I don't want to say, I hate to say this, but I thought he died. Or I mean, at least his career did, but
yeah. No, it looks like he's hanging through. It looks like he was in a single episode of Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 23, which is a series that I have been eyeing as next series to watch after my Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
The only thing I know, I guess I'll go on a little tangent, but
hey, Nick's not here. We can tangent all we want.
The only thing I knew about, I remember seeing ads for that, and the only thing I knew about it is that the girl who started Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 is Jessica Jones now. So
right, and that's the only reason that I'm interested in it.
Yeah. So. Also, James Vanderbeek, I think, was in that show.
Yeah, you gotta love the Vanderbeek.
Beak.
All right. So yeah, I went through a brief premise and review of Sharknado 2 and 3, and my opinion on that. And I think that I would say that about covers the first 3 Sharknadoes. What else is on your mind?
Is there anything that you would, I guess, would there be, is there any sort of, like, value or merit to the first 3 Sharknadoes? To anybody, let's say, they were hiding under a rock for the past 20 years, have no idea of anything about pop culture, and they come up to you, Gorehound, and say, hey, can you recommend some movies for me to watch? Would you recommend the first 3 Sharknadoes?
No. Unless I knew that they were like, I want to know about Sharknado. I would say that yes, you should start from the first Sharknado number 1, because these have no inherent value in it other than the content of the genre. There's a lot of movies that are stupid like this, and they're all pretty much the same. We have one series, the X-headed shark. For instance, it's the shark now has 6 heads, and it's been kind of amping up, like 2-headed shark attack, 3-headed shark attack, etc., etc.
In the same film series?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
But they are still stupid, and they have no continuity, but they still keep on doing them because it's like, we need to put out I'm speaking as an asylum representative. They are saying, we need to put out another movie. Why not, instead of create something original, let's just add another head let's make a 7-headed shark attack. Because these movies are stupid, we're still going to watch them, and they're still going to be entertaining. So, nobody should watch, like, Sharknado 4 just out of the blue. Because it's like, you're already getting nothing out of it. You might as well watch the entire series, just for the, cultural phenomenon that is Sharknado.
The one thing I will say, and this is kind of been my sort of big general, thought or pet peeve with a lot of the, going back to the Asylum, I enjoyed them. The Asylum movies for what they are, which are just silly B movies.
Right, and that is all that they are. They are not, people aren't wanting to watch. I don't think that these do good when they are successful. I mean, as weird as that is, as soon as they start being good, or trying to be good, that's...
Popular would probably be the more accurate term, I would say.
Right, that's where you start to fail. I don't want these to be popular. I don't want to see, celebrities in here who are trying to take the focus away. Because when you have too many cameos, it's dead space in the film. And it's just like, it doesn't play well unless it's like, because cameos are like YouTube vids. They're real short. This is an hour and a half, and I want to stay focused for an hour and a half.
Right, just go through, have a nice, consistent, follow-through story that's got a nice beginning, middle, and end.
Right, don't introduce too many characters, bring back our solid cast of 5, and just move forward with, the story.
I will say it is pretty insane the amount of people that they get to pop up in, like, at least the first 2 sequels.
Yeah.
The one, I guess, almost sort of, I guess, closing thought that I sort of have.
Yeah.
A lot of people categorize the Sharknado movies in like, that same list of movies that's like, oh, it's so, or like, the same as The Room or Plan 9 from outer space. And I always hated that.
Yes.
And I guess this kind of applies to the Asylum in general because it's artificial badness. Like,
right. Yeah. Yeah. The Room is a legitimately bad movie unintentionally. This is a legitimately bad movie intentionally. It's a easy distinction, but they cannot be compared.
No,
you can compare like the recent or the upcoming movie The Meg to Sharknado because they have their comparisons. They're both shark movies. They have different intentions. But they can be compared. But a stupid movie like Scary Movie or Sharknado cannot be compared because they're different.
They're different things, and I think the biggest thing is with the Sharknado, considering how many there are, there's a manufacturing to them. There's kind of like, okay, we know what we're doing. You need a true crazy person to make a really great bad movie. You need like your Tom Wiseau. You need like I'm going to throw a Neil Breen, or I want to say like I was going to put Uwe Boll, but that's kind of more of in the Asylum range. But
yeah.
You need somebody who like truly thinks that from the bottom of their heart, this is how you make a great movie. This is how you make a great film. And there's like a strange creativity that comes from their ineptitude in how to make a movie. With Sharknado, they know how to make a movie. They know how to line up a shot, how to light a scene. They know how to do all that stuff.
Right.
Kind of lose it. I mean, you can laugh along with it and go like, "Oh no! Look at the foam shark head that's trying to eat Tara Reid."
Yeah. Please eat her.
Yeah.
We don't want to see her in the next one.
Yeah. Apparently, they tried doing a kind of sneak peek ahead at the other movies. So I was curious.
Yeah.
I think correct me if I'm wrong. In the fourth one, do they kind of pull like a Jason Todd, where it's like?
Well, I thought it was the third one where they did that, but I just watched the third one, and there was, albeit it was on Netflix or Amazon or something, and they didn't do it because maybe they don't want that hashtag circulating now, where it was like, whatever, like Tara lives or Tara dies. I did not see that, but I think it was the end of the third one because it ended with like something like crushing her.
Okay. But yeah, that's kind of my big sort of summarization of a lot of the Sharknado movies. Is they're fun. Yeah, you can have some buddies around your living room, serve a couple drinks, and then laugh at the silly movie. But at the same time, you're not really going. It's not really going to be that special kind of bad movie. It's going to be that consistent sort of, yeah, this is bad, but it's like it's made to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you lose some quality. You lose something about it.
Yeah.
First Sharknado is still a fun B movie. But yeah, that's kind of. I think that's kind of where I'm going to leave a lot of my thoughts on the first half of this franchise.
I think I've gotten my opinions on the first three out. The first one I think is legitimately good for the genre in which it is produced. The characters are, I think, above average for the genre. For instance, I don't think I really take notice of any characters in Croczilla, whereas I take notice of them in this one. There was, I believe that there is a connection between Two Lava, Two Lantula coming up, which is I thought was going to be a reoccurring one, but that's a topic for a different day. But yeah, the first one I legitimately liked for the genre. It quickly decreases. It's still fun, but for these movies, for me to watch them, I want to see something new. And frankly, if I were to stop watching, if I hadn't seen anything after 3, I would presume that 4, 5, and 6 are all derivative, nothing new. They don't go into space, they don't go into Egypt. They just, rehash the same instances. But in the next few weeks, we will hopefully be watching those, and we will see. Hopefully, I'm proven wrong. We shall see. So, you ready to close this bad boy out?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. I'm the Gorehound.
I'm Cousin Charles.
And we are the All New Culture Cast. Catch you next week.
See ya.
You've been listening to the all-new Culture Cast. Check out our blog at znculturecast.wordpress.com. Send us an email at nick.culturecast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, comments, and requests. Follow us on social media. Theme music by bensound.com. The all-new Culture Cast, a saltwater production. Original material copyright 2018. Thanks for listening.